Some people share a fascination with how the entire universe works and marvel at the possibility that everything might be interconnected. Taking a wide lens, they look at cosmic phenomena such as supernovas and galactic collisions, recognizing that these massive events help create the elements that course through our bodies. Others consider the history of the Earth's atmosphere, observing how ancient single-celled organisms once shaped the air that every living creature now breathes. Still others examine how all of humanity's inventions and ideas expand the range of possibilities that the mind can explore. Though these topics appear unrelated, stars, breath, and cultural creativity, a deeper inquiry suggests that they reflect the grand interconnection of all things. When reflecting on the bloodstream, it becomes clear that iron atoms in human blood do not spontaneously appear on Earth. Iron must be forged in the heart of powerful stars or during the explosive demise of certain stars in supernova events. An immense cosmic ballet underlies every iron atom. Supernovas scatter iron into space. Over the course of billions of years, galaxies can gravitationally collide, spurring fresh waves of star formation. These collisions allow new generations of stars to arise, which in turn produce more elements, including the iron that ends up on planets. After countless cosmic cycles, such iron eventually integrates into living organisms. In that sense, the iron in a person's hemoglobin carrying oxygen with every heartbeat links directly to ancient cosmic processes. As one science enthusiast put it, every heartbeat can be seen as an echo of distant galactic events. The notion that galaxies themselves would collide might seem improbable, but the gravitational pull among many star systems guides them into majestic orbits around each other. Large clusters of galaxies form complex webs that slowly shift over eons. Visualizations of a supercluster can show hundreds of thousands of galaxies in a gravitational dance, their paths weaving through filaments of space. Even though the timescales are enormous, on the order of hundreds of millions or billions of years, these interactions ultimately shape where stars form and where elements disperse. Once one recognizes that the iron essential for life could not exist without these grand collisions and explosions, the feeling of being connected to cosmic events becomes more tangible. It is not a distant, abstract truth. It manifests in the most immediate act of life, the pulsing of blood. This sense of connection is also woven into the story of breath. Billions of years ago, the atmosphere of Earth was almost entirely devoid of oxygen. Only simple life forms, predominantly single-celled, could survive under such extreme conditions. Eventually, among these microbes arose certain bacteria that mastered photosynthesis, converting carbon dioxide and sunlight into oxygen. Over incredibly long periods, these photosynthetic organisms produced enough oxygen to saturate the oceans, then the soil, and finally the atmosphere. Eventually, an ozone layer formed. Once ultraviolet radiation was tamed by this newly created barrier, complex, multicellular life, plants, animals, and eventually species that walked on land could flourish. All modern life breathes the legacy of those ancient photosynthesizers. Many lines of evidence show that these tiny bacteria, though seemingly insignificant, set the stage for everything that crawls, swims, and flies. To underscore the drama, one can imagine the unbroken line of breath. Each exhaled breath from a living creature later becomes part of another being's inhalation. Plants rely on carbon dioxide, and they release oxygen that animals need, creating a cycle of reciprocity. This synergy binds together humans, animals, plants, and the earliest microbes, forming one single interwoven story. We might consider our daily breath routine trivial, but it is the result of billions of years of collaborative evolution. The very oxygen now taken for granted was painstakingly generated across unfathomable epochs by uncountable organisms. The third illustration of connection emerges from the nature of the mind. Civilization fosters a vast tapestry of skills, knowledge, and cultural achievements. Each fresh invention opens a new color in the palette of human being. One might see the piano, for instance, as a newly added color in that palette. Once invented, it allowed a unique set of neural pathways for playing music that did not exist in earlier centuries. The complexity of operating 10 fingers across a range of keys, incorporating foot pedals, and reading music results in neural patterns in the brain that were not possible before the piano's invention. Similarly, the invention of computing or of any new art form bestows fresh ways for the mind to develop. In that sense, each generation inherits an expanding palette of possibilities, and every new discovery or form of expression further extends that palette for the generations to come. This palette concept also underscores how humans can affect sweeping changes on the planet. Consider ancient microbes that seemed trivial during their short lifespans, yet collectively produced enough oxygen for future eras to spawn enormous biodiversity. In the same way, people might live and die believing their actions are too modest to change anything significantly. Yet across decades, centuries, and millennia, small contributions can aggregate into transformations at the planetary scale. This perspective can invert the common notion that we are insignificant in a vast universe. From a cosmic vantage, sure, an individual is physically tiny, but from the perspective of incremental influence, each act or invention, each conversation or shift in worldview can ripple outward in ways unimaginable at the time. Further reflecting on these ideas, some people propose that acknowledging this interconnection can shift how we live. In many spiritual or philosophical traditions, the phrase, "we are all connected," appears as a guiding principle, but some treat it as an abstract mantra or an elusive aspiration, whereas these cosmic and biological stories emphasize it concretely. The iron in one's blood is stardust. The oxygen in one's lungs was produced by bacteria billions of years ago. The capacities of one's mind are shaped by collective human innovations across history. Through these acknowledgments, the unity of life ceases to be a lofty ideal and becomes a matter of daily recognition. Furthermore, each of these narratives underscores the idea that human knowledge and creativity expand what future generations can do. From the vantage of a newly developed skill, be it playing a modern instrument or programming advanced software, people can create experiences that did not previously exist. In so doing, they add another color to the human palette, making possible fresh modes of existence for others down the line. An individual might think, my daily routine is inconsequential, but in the macro sense, it might contribute to the next turning point for culture or technology. The exponential accumulation of these contributions can reshape how societies function, just as the collective outbreath of ancient microbes reshaped the atmosphere for future life forms. Some also reflect on the moral dimension of living in an interconnected universe. If the star explosions that produce iron are unplanned cosmic events, the synergy of breath between plants and animals is a grand dance of ecology, and the expansions of the human mental palette result from many prior generations. Where does personal responsibility fit in? Some thinkers respond that precisely because we know about interdependence, we carry a responsibility to steward that connectedness wisely. The inventions or behaviors chosen now can have cascading impacts for centuries, much as small microbes set the stage for entire forests and ecosystems. Recognizing these stakes, some argue for approaches to technology, resource use, and social organization that account for both immediate needs and the well-being of those far in the future. But how does one translate this cosmic sense of everything is connected into an immediate daily practice? One approach is mindfulness, pausing to honor the chain of events that brought a single meal to the plate, or to appreciate that each breath was once part of an ancient cycle. Another approach is to cultivate curiosity, learning about cosmic events that shaped elements or the historical lineage of ideas that shaped present-day culture. Some also recommend service and creativity, from volunteering in an environmental project that protects the Earth that was formed from cosmic dust, to contributing to an artistic or technological endeavor that furthers humanity's knowledge. These acts become new threads in the fabric of interconnection. The blossoming of broader awareness can also dispel cynicism. Cynicism might say the universe is random and indifferent. Nothing I do matters. Stories of cosmic explosions or ancient photosynthesizers, however, reveal that minute forces can eventually shift global conditions, sometimes in wondrous ways. A single star's explosion can birth the iron in countless living creatures. A single microbial species can reshape an atmosphere. An inventor's idea can open new intellectual spaces for millions. Cynicism overlooks these possibilities. In contrast, an attitude that embraces interconnectedness sees each living moment as a chance, however small, to enhance the mosaic of life's potential. Some propose that this cosmic solidarity might also reduce fear and loneliness. If a person recognizes that their breath merges with the planet's collective respiration, or that their body is literally stardust, existential dread can recast itself as humble awe. While fear of the unknown might not vanish, it can transform into respect for a process that is bigger than daily concerns. Ironically, feeling small in the face of the universe might become a reason to feel confident in the power of collaborative efforts, like small cells that methodically change the atmosphere. One can see the synergy of billions of individuals shaping tomorrow's environment and culture. From another angle, some people remark on how knowledge of cosmic processes can be harnessed for less noble ends. Technology gleaned from physical or biological research can degrade environments if used carelessly. Similarly, while the palette of human skills expands, it can be directed toward destructive as well as beneficial ends. The same sense of connectedness, though, can serve as a moral compass, reminding societies that actions taken for short-term gains might harm the web that sustains future generations. Many advocates of a connected worldview encourage balancing innovation with compassion, believing that acknowledging universal interdependence leads to more thoughtful stewardship. The universality of interconnection is also found in smaller everyday details, not just cosmic and global processes. For instance, within a single city, shared languages, customs, and infrastructures create an interwoven environment. A baker learns from recipes developed centuries ago. An engineer uses math discovered in ancient civilizations. Though in daily life people often forget this shared heritage, it underscores that nobody truly stands apart. In a sense, each person is a node through which lines of tradition, knowledge, and biology pass, reminding us that the web of life is alive in daily gestures, from playing a musical instrument to using complex devices. For those who want to embody these insights, there are wide-ranging possibilities, from celebrating the cosmic connections in festivals that highlight stargazing and environmental care, to teaching children that the carbon dioxide they exhale might eventually nourish a tree, which in turn provides oxygen. A sense of wonder and gratitude can arise from such lessons, encouraging them to take up the role of respectful co-creators in the unfolding planetary story. Thus, the principle of "we are all connected" may not be a vague assertion. It can be illuminated through the creation of iron in dying stars, the evolution of atmospheric oxygen by ancient microbes, and the development of new skills and cultural achievements that expand the mental palette. Each person is part of this continuity, whether or not they consciously acknowledge it. But once one does acknowledge it, the perspective on living can shift. Everyday routines transform into an interplay with cosmic events, ancient biological achievements, and the historical tapestry of shared human culture. In this grand continuum, a single life can carry meaning far beyond what is directly visible. Just as long-lost bacteria had no idea they were shaping possibilities for the future, we might be laying the foundation for modes of life and expressions of mind that come long after us. Ultimately, reflecting on these connections can serve as a call to approach life with humility and creativity. Cosmic processes reveal the majesty of existence. Ecological processes demonstrate the delicate balance we share with other species. Cultural processes highlight the power of collective learning. Each domain underscores the same conclusion: everything is indeed connected. And from that realization, one might glean not just knowledge, but also the responsibility to act in ways that honor and deepen those ties. Working together consciously could open a new era in which humankind, rather than feeling lost in a sea of stars, becomes a self-aware participant in the ongoing dance of creation.